Coming your way on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, live from Super Bowl Radio Row in Phoenix, Arizona. We have a great Jalen Hurts injury update, some fascinating insight from Pro Football Doc, also known as Dr. David Chao, who also gave us some insight on Patrick Mahomes and the fact that he might be a little bit banged up, more so than what the Chiefs are letting on come Sunday for Super Bowl 57. And I did an exclusive interview with CJ Gardner-Johnson, who told me he wants to return to the Eagles in NFL free agency. But first, if you can't wait until Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, as it's Thursday right now and this week is just going by way too slow, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and with that, let's dive into all of the latest Eagles news and rumors. Here we go. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now right here on Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Hope all of your Super Bowl weeks are going in grand fashion, and we have another fantastic show on the docket for you. And I do want to start with the latest Jalen Hurts injury update. Spoke with Dr. David Chao live from Super Bowl Radio Row, who's also known as Pro Football Doc on Twitter, former team doctor for the San Diego Chargers, and right now has his own website as well as his YouTube channel. And I think he breaks down this medical verbiage in a way that you can easily digest it for somebody who doesn't really know some of these medical terms. And this is really the summary of what he had to say about Hurts' shoulder injury. He actually believes that Jalen Hurts is not that injured. He actually thinks that Patrick Mahomes is ailing a little bit more with that high ankle sprain as compared to Hurts with that shoulder injury. And he thinks that Hurts, after seeing him in the divisional round against the Giants, as well as in the NFC Championship game against the 49ers, is suffering from rust, not because of that shoulder ailment. And he thinks that the lack of passing stats and him not really throwing the ball downfield is not a byproduct of him actually being injured. It's a byproduct of how Philadelphia has been so dominant so far in the NFL playoffs. So I asked him about Hurts and that injury as well as Patrick Mahomes, and here's what he had to say. To the Super Bowl 57 matchup, you have two quarterbacks who are a little bit banged up right now. You have Jalen Hurts with the shoulder, Patrick Mahomes with the ankle. When you saw Hurts go down against Chicago about a month and a half ago, I thought it was scary at the time. Looked as though it could have been a collarbone injury potentially. He misses some time, but anytime a defensive lineman goes full weight on a quarterback's throwing shoulder, it kind of makes you cringe a little bit for fans of that respective team. Do you think that Hurts right now is 100%? Because it doesn't look as though he is in terms of throwing the football downfield.
He's a lot closer to 100% than Patrick Mahomes is on his ankle. And we've been optimistic on Patrick Mahomes. For the AFC Championship game, we gave him a Sports Injury Central 6 score of 84% effective. And a QB rating of 105.4 probably backs that up. And Mahomes will be better this week. But Hurts, we're actually not worried about at all. First of all, yes, he talked about soreness, but, you know, it's the game of football. If it really were bothering him, would he even bring it up? I mean, he would just say, no, I'm fine. Patrick Mahomes last week before the Bengals game said, FP, I'm fine. He wasn't 100%, right? You downplay that. The other reason is people get caught up in the stats, okay? When you play, no offense, the 49ers got injured. Are you going to be throwing the ball or even exposing your quarterback to runs and hits in the second half of that game? That game was lost and out of hand. Look, it was two blowout games. The Giants 38-7 and the 49er game blowout. So Jalen Hurts didn't get to show his stuff. His numbers don't look that good, but I don't think that's the shoulder. I think he's fine and healthy. If you look at other examples, when Tyreek Hill dislocated that joint in 2019, he missed 4 games and came back week 5. In the next 5 games, he got 527 yards and averaged 17 yards a catch. And that was a dislocation. This is not a dislocation. I get that's a wide receiver. This is a quarterback. But I think he's fine. I think it's game script that's made his numbers not look that good. My bigger worry for Eagles fans related to Jalen Hurts is rust. He's a young quarterback who didn't play the last 3 weeks of the season, then a bye week, and then in 2 blowout games that maybe he wasn't fully pushed or tested. That's my worry more than the SC joint.
How about Patrick Mahomes, though? You alluded to him maybe not being 100%. Andy Reid said as much this week, but you think that he's more banged up than Jalen Hurts. What leads you to believe that?
Well, I mean, it's a high ankle sprain. He's limping around. There's no way he's going to be 100% in himself. But the reason why we've been so optimistic on Patrick Mahomes, even, in the previous game, is he's a unicorn in the way that he makes off-platform throws. He's not a drive off the back leg and a mechanics guy. When he's healthy, he often wrong foots, jump passes, sidearms footballs, and makes completions. But we don't think he could last time against the Bengals drive the ball down the field, and he didn't. He threw underneath. He's going to be 50% healthier after these 2 weeks. But there is a chance of re-aggravation if he gets landed on. But his ankle, although we think he'll play well if he stays away from aggravation, is still more injured than Hurts' shoulder at this point in time.
And obviously, that's huge news for Philadelphia and for Jalen Hurts in this offense because given how equally matched both of these rosters are, 16-3, they've scored the same amount of points this year, both squads with 6 All-Pros, including a Kelce brother, this game might be a shootout, and Jalen Hurts might be asked to throw the football a little bit more than he's done in the 2 previous playoff games because this Kansas City offense is capable of putting points on the board. So with that, let me ask you this with Hurts heading into Sunday. I want you to predict his stat line in the Super Bowl. What do you think it's going to be? How do you think he's going to fare against this Kansas City defense? Let us know down below in the comment section. Coming up next, that aforementioned exclusive interview with CJ Gardner-Johnson. Had an opportunity to sit down with him for a couple of minutes to talk about that trade from the New Orleans Saints to Philadelphia and his reaction and whether or not he wants to come back to the Eagles in free agency. I had clipped this and put it out on Twitter, and it is just on fire right now. But we'll go more in-depth as compared to that. And the Eagles offensive line continues to be one of the best units in football, maybe one of the best of all time. But first, today's show is presented by Athletic Greens. AG1. It is really just instrumental to my daily process, and I gave AG1 a try because given my work schedule at Chat Sports combined with my training regimen, as I've currently run for more than 260 straight days, I wanted sustained energy and to stay healthy by keeping my immune system strong so that I can strive toward my professional work life and personal fitness goals. I take AG1 literally every morning as part of my daily routine, and it sets the table for the rest of my day. It's helped improve my gut health. It's boosted my energy, supports my immune system, which is obviously really important because we're traveling a lot, not sleeping a lot on this trip, and sometimes when you hop on an airplane and you're lacking a little bit of energy, your immune system can take a hit. Not with AG1. I've really prioritized my health over the last couple of years. That's why I love AG1 and its 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. When I was at Temple in 2015, I was like 215, 220 pounds. Now I'm down to $180. So I really do care about my health and AG1. That's why I love it so much. I simply mix 1 small scoop of it with water and drink it first thing each morning or before and after my workouts. I also love that something that's this good for you and prioritizing your health and wellness, one life, one body. That's the motto. Costs less than $3 a day. So if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you, the Fly Eagles Fly family, a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs, which I've been using on this trip here in Phoenix. So check it out. Link is in the comment section as well as in the description of today's video. It's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. All right, to the much anticipated interview with CJ Gardner-Johnson, I asked him straight up, you want to return to the city of Philadelphia as he's set to enter free agency after his rookie contract expires, and what a move for Howie Roseman to bring him in. Really not giving up much in that trade with New Orleans. And CJ Gardner-Johnson, in fact, said that he'd love to be back with that interview that we did from Phoenix, Arizona in the lead up to Super Bowl 57. And these are some of the reasons why I'd like to see him come back to the Eagles and be a part of this defense for the next couple of years. I love his positional versatility at safety as well as cornerback. With New Orleans coming into the season, he had played more than 1,000 snaps from that slot nickel role, little more than 80 snaps at that safety spot. Of course, Philadelphia bringing him in prior to the season because they had question marks and they had a weakness at that safety spot, and he's played really well this year. Tied for the NFL lead in interceptions, even though he got hurt on that primetime game against the Packers and missed several games. He has that dog in him, which Nick Sirianni obviously likes, so too does Howie Roseman, and he's been really instrumental in this locker room as far as bolstering this Eagles culture, which Nick Sirianni has done a great job of building. Lastly, He's young. He's only 25 years old. So if you sign him to a multi-year deal, going to be a part of this Eagles team and be a steady contributor for the next couple of years. What do you think, Eagles fans? He's already, in year one, become a fan favorite here. You want the Eagles to re-sign him. Get into the comment section. Sound off and chime in. R for re-sign, E for expensive. And as for that interview with the man that they call CD Deuce, sat down with him yesterday. Here's what he had to say about that trade from the Saints and his future with the Birds. Going back to when Howie Roseman traded for you, I thought it was shocking at the time because they didn't really have to give up much to bring in a guy who had so much success at the NFL level. And you had such a good relationship with a lot of your Saints teammates in that organization. You were beloved by that fan base. So what was your first reaction when you got traded to Philadelphia?
Let's play football, focus on what I can focus on. I ain't really take it personal. It is what it is. It's a business, but at the end of the day, it was for the better. You see where we at? Super Bowl. So.
And when you look at this picture right here, when you embrace Nick Sirianni following the NFC Championship game, can you take me back to that moment, what was going through your mind?
It's just, as a four-year player, just understanding, like, we reached one of the biggest stages of them all, so I think that's what the emotion was coming out more so of, like, all the stuff I've been through. Just really focus on the game and understanding why we're here.
Your experience here in Philadelphia, obviously nationally, this fan base can get a bad reputation because they are intense, they are very passionate. But what has your interaction and your experience been like in Philadelphia and playing for this organization?
I don't go outside, so I wouldn't even tell you. I can't even tell you.
How about during game day, though, when you see the Link rocking?
It's great. I love the Link. The Link experience is amazing. But, like, going outside-wise, a fan, I really haven't really stepped out because I really focus on ball. But I think every Sunday that fan base has always come. I think if you had rated at 10 out of 10 on my grade scale, better than any other state around the league right now. So fan base is good. It's always good energy, no matter if we lost to Washington or if we won. It's one of those fans understand what we are and how good we are. So I think embracing them and them embracing us was good.
As far as your role in this defense, you came into Philadelphia playing more than 1,000 snaps at a nickel and slot, and you played about 80 or so snaps at safety. How are you able to so quickly grasp this defense and master that safety position without many flaws? Because you look at your success this year, even though you missed a lot of games, right, a big reason for that, you still tied for the league lead in interceptions.
I say Chao D. Will. That's what helped me understand who I am so I could just become a better football player, smart and more humble. I think more than just being here, I think the back end itself is just coming to the bond. And like I said, Coach D will help me out majority of this. So I think, obviously DC, JG, Howie them, but really just being around guys and a group that care. That's what helped me get better.
Looking ahead into the future, obviously your focus is on Sunday, but big free agency looming. Do you want to hit the market as a corner? Do you want to hit the market as a safety?
I want to be a champion. I ain't worried about no market. I'm worried about the Super Bowl market right now.
Would you like to come back to Philadelphia?
I mean, who wouldn't want to come here? It's a great spot, great place. Love it here.
You're known for your swagger, your confidence, how you carry yourself. Where does that stem from? Your upbringing as a football player, or when you get in between those lines, are you just a totally different cat?
I'm different. I'm different from most cats. Most guys say I'm him, but I'm just different. I can use the phrase different because most guys can't do what I do. I'm the jack of all trades when it comes to, like, a DB because I can play multiple positions. So I feel like when I go out there, I got that edge on anybody. It don't matter if I'm in the Super Bowl, preseason, practice, it's just my confidence.
Lastly, you took to social media the other day saying that your car got stolen. Did that get resolved, and what happened with that situation?
I ain't talking about my car. I ain't talking about no car.
Hey, thanks. Couple of takeaways from that. I love how I asked him about free agency, and he said, I'm not worried about the free agency market. I'm worried about winning a ring. That's the market that I'm worried about. And of course, he did take to social media to talk about how his car got stolen in Philadelphia. Obviously, maybe a touchy subject. Didn't want to talk about it in our interview. So before we hop on out of here, this is why you subscribe. We've been bringing you content and shows all throughout the week right here from Super Bowl Radio Row leading up to the big game on Sunday, even some player interviews. Yesterday, Isaac Seumalo. Today, CJ Gardner-Johnson. More interviews to come, by the way. We were at Super Bowl opening night with some access to the players. This is what we do here on Eagles Now. So if you love the Birds, rock with us and subscribe today and on Sunday. We're going to be flying back to our Chat Sports studios. Going to be doing a watch party for Super Bowl 57, going live 2 hours prior to kickoff. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be playing some tailgating games, some beer pong prior to the game, of course, a pregame show, shotgunning some beers, taking down some brews, and then when the game is going on, it's going to be on and popping, some live play-by-play and audience interaction. So let's get to 41,000 subscribers as soon as possible, and as always, appreciate all of you for tuning in to Philadelphia Eagles Now.